morning. Hi, 6th grade math class. This is Miss Chauncey, and as promised, I told you I would get you some type of a video, so this way when you get home at night, you understand the formulas and what we're doing in class. So as we've been working this week, we've been working on triangles and rectangles. Now remember kids, when we're working with triangles, you need to remember the formula. It's half the base times height, and I know in class we have been doing half and then b times h. So you have to remember how to do this, okay? So I put one up on the board really quickly for us. And remember, it's half base times height. We know that our base here is 8, and we know our height, which goes up and down across this way, is 7. So we're going to have to multiply this. And if you need to use a multiplication chart, that's fine. We have one that's up over there if you need it. You guys always remember, it's in the back of your notebooks. So 8 times 7 is 56. So we have 56 by 1/2. And I know a lot of you are getting hung up with the 1/2 of 56, but remember this. If you took 56 and you divided it by 2, that's 1/2. 2 goes into 5, 2 times with a remainder. You're going to have 16. 2 goes into 16, 8 times. So your answer, so A equals 28. And that's what you have for your triangles. Just remember to do your formulas and you'll be able to pick up the rest of this pretty easily. Moving on to rectangles really quick. Remember the rectangles. Your rectangles and your squares are always length times width. When we write it, we always say A equals length times width. Remember, we don't always use an X for times. A lot of times we just use a dot. So as long as you keep that in mind. So when you're over here, all it is simply length times width, which is length going across. 8 times your width is 5. So your answer, 8 times 5, is 40. And that's all you have to remember. A equals 40. But remember, if we put feet here, you have to add whatever it is at the bottom. Okay, guys? So that's what you have to do for these two. But you always want to remember your two formulas. Now moving on, we have been doing a little bit differently. We have been doing these we have to do decomposing shapes. You don't want to break this into a whole bunch of little shapes. You want to do as few as possible. So the one we had in homework and classwork yesterday was this one. We broke it up across this way. We made it into a triangle and we made it into a rectangle. Remember, your triangle is half your base times your height. Now on this, even though the 4 is here, it's saying that this here is your base. So 1/2, your base is going to be a 4 that we have listed here, times your height, which is 7. So you bring this down. And then you have to remember, what is 4 times 7? Like I said, if you need to use your chart, go ahead. It's 28. What is half of 28? You can do the math out. 28 divided by 2. 2 goes into 2 once. 2 goes into 8 4 times. So your answer is 14. But we need to find the area of the entire shape. So now we have to come over here and we have to do A equals length times width. So A equals your length is 9, your width is 4. What is 9 times 4? 36. But we're still not done because that doesn't give us the entire amount to both of these together. You have to add these two. So you have 36 plus 14. 6 plus 4 is 10. Remember to carry your 1. 3 plus 1 is 5. So 50 is your total amount. So A equals 50. Remember, you're going to do as small amounts as possible. So you make this into one rectangle and one triangle. You have to do your formulas out. So you have your area of your triangle, your area of a rectangle, and then you have your total amount. So you have to remember how to do these, break this down to this to do this for your next one. So that's what we have done for the last couple of days. Now we're going to move on to what we have been doing today, which is circumference. And I know a lot of you are having great difficulty with this particular thing. So we're going to work on this. We all have to remember that the pi sign that we discussed today is 3.14. We also have a specific formula that you guys have to remember how to do this. Okay, so today we started working on circumference. I know you guys took your notes down. You had the notes about your circles. We had circumference in there, the distance around the outside edge. We had the center, which is this area here, the center of the middle of the circle, your radius from the center point to the outside edge. So from here to here is your radius. And then we discussed your diameter. Diameter would be a straight line all the way across. And as my wonderful friend Jeff Tell, who I want to say hi to, said, it reminds him of the equator, which he's right, but this is called the diameter. So today we're going to do this particular question here was, what is the circumference of this particular circle? So what we have to do is C equals, remember guys, C equals 2 pi r. R stands for the radius. What is the radius of the circle? And this little pi, remember we discussed it today, 3.14. Another thing for pi is we said Pi Day is actually Friday. It's March 14th. So just something to remember in the back of your head. So we have circumference equals 2 pi r. So the 2 is always going to be there. So you have 2 times. What did we say that this was for pi? 3.14. And then the radius. What is the radius? The radius is 9. But remember when we discussed this when we were in math today? We said try to consolidate as much as you can. If you know how much 9 times 2 is, you can put that right down. We know 9 times 2 is 18. Then we're going to multiply 3.14 by 18. And I know I had a lot of you who started to have a little bit of anxiety when you saw the double digits. Take your time. Use your multiplication chart if you need to. 4 times 8 is 32. 2, carry the 3. Don't forget to carry your numbers up top. 8 plus 1 is 8 plus 3 is 11. Carry the other one. 3 times 8 is 24 plus 1 is 25. Don't worry about your decimal. We'll do that at the end. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 3 is 3. We're going to add these across. 2, 5, 6, 5. How many decimals? 2. We start over 2. So there's your answer. Your circumference right here is C equals 56.52. Okay? Now, let's do the area. Same thing. We'll put the area right over here. Move some of my stuff out of the way. There are the triangles. The area. Okay, we said the area is pi. Remember, pi is 3.14 squared. So we have 3.14. The radius, which we said is 9. But you guys have this 2 up here. Remember, this 2 does not mean 9 times 2. This means 9 times 9. You have to multiply by itself. So 9 squared. So if you bring this down, 9 times 9, use your multiplication chart or the fingers. I know you guys know how to use your numbers for the 9 on your fingers. 9 times 9 is 81. So we're going to multiply 3.14 times 81. Yes, it's another double digit again. So you want to multiply 3.14 times 81. Don't get hung up on the decimal. We can put that in at the end. 4 times 1 is 4. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 3 is 3. 8 times 4, we said is 32 earlier. 2, carry the 3. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 3 is 11. Carry the 1. 8 times 3 is 24, plus 1 is 25. I'm going to carry this across. We know this is a 0, so 4, 1 plus that is 3, 3 plus 1 is 4, and then 5, and then 2. Remember, we have 2 decimals, so we need to carry 2 decimals. So your area for this is right here. So A equals 254.34. And that's how you do your area. This is going to be your area, and this is going to be your circumference. So remember guys, when you're working with these, you need to use your formulas. You're not going to be able to understand this if you just run off a whole bunch of numbers in your head. Okay, so that's what we're working on for the rest of the week, and I hope you guys have a great day. Starting tomorrow, we're down to 8 days to MCAS, so make sure you study and you're doing really well. Have a great night, everybody.